Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of the Flight Plan. Hey, what a great week. It's Thanksgiving week. We have so many incredible things to be grateful for. We've got family in town. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss my side of the family, but how cool is it that this week we get to share the things that we're super grateful for? For me, I'm grateful for Tammy Goodman and Revolution Mortgage for helping us with putting this thing that we call the Flight Plan together. I'm pretty excited that we've created this deep partnership, and the goal is to continue to help and support agents with ideas that they can do each and every week to build on their businesses, put simple systems in place, and at the end of the day, create a better game plan for our real estate businesses. So today is Monday. It is the 20th of November. We're pretty pumped up about this being Thanksgiving week. I hope that everybody out there has the opportunity to be super grateful, to spend some time with family, eat some really good food, and enjoy the time that you have. I was reading a book recently called How to Break Up with Your Phone, and I would totally suggest having a 24-hour breakup with your phone during the Thanksgiving holidays. Somewhere, somehow, doesn't matter where. If it can't be 24 hours, pick a time spot where you can do 2 or 3 hours where that is just not a part of the equation. So here we go. Today, I kind of want to talk about the things that we should be doing on a regular basis. The first thing is communicating the right way with people, but then also creating these beautiful things we call follow-up. And if we're not dialed into the follow-up plan for our business, it's going to be harder and more difficult for us to succeed. The follow-up plan has to be implemented. You have to have the right tools in place, and you also have to know who we are going to be reaching out to. So every week, we should come up with a solution to a problem we are trying to solve. So for real estate agents, the problem is communication with the right people. So we have to create that target list. So we have to create pipelines. We have to be able to understand who it is that we want to deliver the right message to. And once we discover who that particular person is, how do we get a sense of urgency to these folks? So getting started, it's very, very simple. We need to try to figure out what problem are we solving. Today, I would say the biggest problem that we have today is mortgage interest rates. It's the biggest topic of conversation. It's the movement of the mortgage rate that's going to drive our particular business models. 7 or 8% is not an extremely high number. It's high for us because just recently we were talking in the 3s to 4s, and there's been some people that were extremely fortunate to be able to either refinance or purchase in the sub-3 mortgage rates. Now, those are some very uncommon numbers. It's and for those that were able to take advantage of that, God bless you. It was a great time to get really low cost mortgages on real estate. Probably won't see that again. It's historical numbers. So let's figure out how to solve the problem that where rates are today, that's going to be a consistent number. Now, they probably will bounce. Some a little bit higher, some a little bit lower. But overall, the problem that we're trying to solve is getting buyers to accept a higher rate. And are we doing that, convincing them that it is what it is? And is that even the right statement to make to a buyer? Hey, it's unfortunate. You hear comments all the time. Buy the house, marry the house, date the mortgage. My thoughts on all that stuff is when I got my first property in 1998, I think it was, what was interesting about that is that my rate was a little over 11%. And the rate started to trickle down a little bit, and I just refinanced. And so I was able to save, actually pulled a little bit of cash out, but I was able to save money on a monthly basis going forward. But I loved my house, and saw a statistic recently, and it said that for people that were in the last time that we were at 7 or 8% and they waited for rates to drop, it was 22 years before rates got below that particular number when they had climbed to that spot. So you could be a tenant for a really long time if you're a buyer based on that data. Now, who knows what it'll be? We do not have the crystal ball to determine what mortgage rates are going to be. However, we all need housing. We all need opportunities for places to raise families, and we need to do that in the areas that we like. So how do we do that? We've got to get mortgage approvals. We've got to have conversations with more people. We have to be able to share the features and the benefits of what we try to solve as real estate agents, the opportunity for people to buy and trade real estate. So today's problem, mortgage rates. So how do we solve this problem for our buyers? Well, it goes back to the first comment, date the rate, marry the house. Well, you're going to be in a home for more than a short period of time, hopefully. And so by doing that, you've got this extended period of time. If you are able to buy that house today's rate at 7.5% or 8%, and it stays that way for a little while, and maybe it goes to 10 or 11%, you're still in a good position. If for some reason the rate drops as you're in the property, refinance it. It's okay to buy a house at the rates that they are today. If you are in the need of a new home, it is what it is. So you just have to accept that and say, what can I buy? What's income do I have? And what type of property can I get involved in that's affordable for the income that I have at the rate that's current? So as a real estate agent, we know that that's the problem to solve. So we need to figure out what our pipelines look like. So every single conversation that we are having today, we need to be asking the questions: what will motivate you to make a decision to move to your next property? Simple question. Some people are going to say, hey, I'm in it to stay. I'm in it for a long time. I'm going to be here for another 7 to 10 years. Wonderful. Well, that's actually, you're creating that pipeline. I tell agents all the time, imagine if you're having a conversation with another potential client, and maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, but every single conversation that you have, you should end the conversation with this question: in a perfect world, when do you see you and your family making the decision to move again? Will you need to increase your size of your property because you're having babies and you need more space? Will it be downsizing because all those babies are now grown and you're looking for a smaller space? All of these things are relevant to creating these pipelines. So imagine you're having a conversation with somebody that you've known through church, and that part of that conversation shifts to, hey, in a perfect world, when do you see you and your family making the decision to make your next move? And they say, it's going to be 3 years from now. Our youngest daughter will be graduating from high school. This is a scenario where I'm at. So my daughter will be graduating in 2027. So imagine if you had that situation where you made a note in your CRM that individual will be moving in 2027. Now you've got the upper hand to do two things. Number one, follow up with that individual. You can now plan on when you're going to have that really hard discussion about, hey, is this still the year? Everything involves CRM. Everything involves around when's the next point of contact. Everything revolves around when you're going to create that level of follow-up. So every conversation should end, hey, in a perfect world, when do you see you and your family making the decision to make the next move? Great question to ask people. So this is going to create a pipeline. So if you do that enough, somebody's going to say 2027. Some people might say 2024. So now we're getting closer. So now imagine if you have a 20 to 25 person contact pipeline where they're actually giving you the direction of when they're anticipating a transaction. Now you've got this ability to create this pipeline. You almost have your annuity of income levels coming in. And the way to guarantee that is follow up. You have to make sure you're staying in contact with these people on a consistent basis, giving them the necessary tools and data and information that's going to help them make the best decision for them and their family. So it could be market reports. It could be a lot of different things about the goings on in that particular neighborhood. People are always curious to know what's going on in my neighborhood. What did that house sell for? What did that house sell for? Hey, how many people are currently listing their properties? Is market appreciating? Is it depreciating? These are things as the the real estate professional, we can be better at delivering these types of messages to our clients. So that's the first thing. Create an active pipeline, and every person you talk to is delivering to that pipeline. So where's our next closing going to come from? Well, it's going to come from that pipeline. So let's say you're at an open house. You've got this pipeline of 25 people kind of parked over here, and you're sitting in an open house, and somebody walks in and they say, I'm going to buy in the next 0 to 90 days. Well, go look at your pipeline charts. Where do they fit in? Are they number 2? Are they number 3? Are they now becoming the number 1 candidate? If they are in your top 25, no matter what, you need to make sure that you're having a conversation with every single one of these people at least once a week. And that can be any type of a touch. It can be something on Facebook. It can be a direct email. But these are the things that you have to take this approach that everybody that's in my top 25, no matter if I'm a new agent and I'm getting started and they're telling me 3 or 4 years down the line, I want to make sure I'm the one that they're going to be reaching out to. I've got to stay in touch with these people. So our pipelines become very, very important. So our hit list this week, I want you to focus on reaching out to 10 people. 10 people that you feel are very strategic. It could be an older lead. It could be a family member. It could be somebody that you've had a conversation with church. I want you to reach out to 10 people and ask them how you can be a better resource for them and them making a decision to buy or sell some real estate today. And then you're going to determine how strong of a situation are they in to make a decision to where you can assist them in a buying or sell of real estate. That becomes your hit list. The next thing we want to do is work on our farm list. Now, these are people who've indicated at some point in time that they could use some help. Now, if these people are really thinking about selling real estate, they need to be in your farm. It could have been an oh, by the way conversation, but these are people that have indicated that they're very interested in learning more about you and about real estate. So we create the market reports. We create the auto alerts where new listings come on board. These are the type of people that we wanted now to give our explanation of services. Why would somebody choose me over another real estate agent? Our farm needs to know why we're the right choice. If we're the right choice for them, we've got to understand our own examples of how that works. So for me, graduating from high school, going into college, I've always felt like I was an entrepreneur. I wanted to be an entrepreneurial mind. I wanted to be somebody that took risks. I wanted to be somebody that did business for myself. And I wanted to learn how to negotiate specific deals for people. So I worked for a couple of small businesses and managed a couple of retail stores. But then I started my entrepreneurial deals probably in the late 80s. So I ended up with a couple of opportunities where I managed tanning salons. Then I owned a tanning salon. Then we got into the bar and restaurant business. We ended up with 3 separate nightclubs. We sold a ton of beer. I learned how to negotiate prices with different vendors. That led into the auto industry. We carried our own notes. We financed autos for individuals, which is very common and very similar to what's happening in real estate today from the mortgage side of things. But we then turned into the auto repairs. The cars that we were selling needed work and mechanical issues were happening. We serviced those deals. So not only did we finance them, we serviced them. And then we had the problem of that we solved of how do we get the vehicle from where it broke down back to our shop. So we ended up with a wrecker service, and we had 14 trucks that we ran all over the Mid-South. This was when I was living in Memphis, and I learned how to be a better salesman, going to the different shops, negotiating rates for tows, and it was a wonderful experience. So for me, I outgrew that, and then I got into the home repair business, which is what led me to the real estate side of things. So moving to Texas from Tennessee, I started focusing on homes that I could assist my clients in. So I learned how to be better at redoing kitchens and bathrooms. And so that skill set is why a client chooses Rick Raanes over so many other people. Well, I understand homes probably better than most real estate agents because I understand the construction process of them. I understand what goes into the process of building a property. I also know the costs associated with remodeling homes. So as a home flipper today, I can help a client walk into a property and say, this is something that's going to need a ton of work, or this is something that's actually going to be turnkey. It's going to give you a simple next 2 to 3 years. There's not going to be a ton of problems that are going to come up outside of the, oh my gosh, the air conditioner is not working or the water heater is not working. But typically the construction of the home is something that I do a great job of determining whether something's in a good spot or not. So that's the advantage for choosing Rick Raanes over so many other people. So that's my level of explanation of services. I deliver to my client a higher value of knowledge, knowing what the condition of a property is. So That's our farm club. We want to be able to deliver that type of information to those folks. Now, the last thing that we want to talk about is our top 50 core people. And I've shared this several times during the course with several agents. And I tell them when they're brand spanking new, go create a list of 50 people that already know you, love you, and trust you. And the ultimate goal is to get anywhere from 2 to 3 referrals every single year from this core group of people. Now, how do you go about doing that? It's really simple. You've got to reach out to them. You have to go to lunch with them. You have to sit down, ask them questions about their house. How's their family doing? Are there any expectations of a change for them coming up? And in a perfect world, you should know exactly when those 50 people are thinking about their next move. Doesn't mean something catastrophic can't come up. It can't be an unfortunate death in the family. It can't be an unfortunate promotion to a company that's going to help them move out of the market that you're in. But you need to know what their goals are. It's pretty simple. If you are learning the goals for them and what their family's needs are, whether it's upsize or downsize, it's going to put you in a better position to deliver a better game plan for them in the follow-up plan. And you've got to do this at a really, really high level. So this week, reminder, once again, we want to target 10 people that we're going to reach out to. We want to ask them if we can have an in-person, face-to-face, or if we can do a Zoom call with them. We just want to talk to them. We want to find out how things are going with their family. How are things going? When's the last time they bought a home? When's the last time they refinanced their property? What's their current rate? Is there something that you can be on the lookout for them that will help them and their family with their housing needs? Great questions to ask. Then we want to get 5 people from those 10. We want to start talking to them about who do they know that we should know. And we want to add 5 people every single week to our farm club. Now, if we do this in the right way, we're going to deliver messages to the people that are on our farm, delivering the explanation of services, why people choose us over others. And we're going to create this perfect plan. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that when we have people in our farm clubs, or no matter what we're trying to do, we want to capture their attention. Text message, phone call, email, whatever it is. What is something that's going to get them engaged? You got to tell them a story that's beneficial to them. So we want to get their attention, tell them a great story, tell them why things are going well for you. Then during the course of all that, we want to get a commitment. How do we get that face-to-face commitment? How do we get it, whether it's Zoom or in person? It's fun to be able to see people when we're talking to. Technology is so different today than it used to be over boring phone calls. Now you can see so many cool things that are happening for people, and we actually love being able to do that. So after you've had that face-to-face, the next thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to send them a follow-up. Hey, what did we talk about? Here's what we talked about. Here's a summary of the call. This is what our game plan is going forward. So then a couple of days go by. Now we're going to call them and ask them, have they done any homework? If you left that initial meeting and they said, well, we're thinking about this, or we're looking forward to that, and you give them some homework, now comes the best opportunity to be able to reach out to them and say, hey, did you get to do what we asked? And that's the great thing. And then you can share with them some of the follow-up that you've done. Another thing that you can do to people that are in your target list is send them proof of the plan. Everybody needs to know stories about why you're successful. So it's the review, it's the sharing of the reviews, it's the having the conversations directly with an individual. You can imagine going to a past client and you said, hey, Sarah, thank you so much for being a great client of mine. I'm so happy that the experience went well for you and your family. Would it be okay if I'm meeting a new client, if I could put you on a referral list? And sometimes I may have you call that person directly for me. Would you be open to that? And you'd be surprised how many people would say yes. Now, there's going to be some people that go, oh my gosh, I don't know that I could call somebody that I don't know, but they're happy to help you. People love helping people. And if you ask them in the right way, they will do this. So proof of the plan, you want to share the reasons why you're super successful. And here's another cool tip. Is imagine if you are meeting with a potential new client and you were helping them, you got their systems kind of lined up, you know what their home is looking, what type of property they're looking for, or the items that they need to do to sell it. Imagine if you could have a mortgage vendor professional partner reach out to that individual. Imagine somebody calling saying, "Hey, Sarah, this is Rick. I'm a mortgage professional. I've worked with Rick for several years. You're going to love the opportunity to work with him. He's got so many clients that rave about him, and there's so many great things that you're going to love about it. But here's a suggestion that I would do. Rick works really well when you do this. So please make sure you're sharing what your needs are. Don't hide it. Don't fight it. Just let him know and let him run with it." Imagine if a home inspector said, "Hey, my name is Tim. I'm a home inspector that works well with Rick. Hey, he told me that you guys were thinking about purchasing a home in the next few months. I just wanted to offer my level of services. I've worked with Rick for several years. He's a great negotiator. I love working with him. We've done a great job and we've developed a great partnership through the years. And I know that you're going to love the opportunity to work with him as well." No one does this. Inspectors, I don't know, I've never done it either, but this is a great thing that I would say could be a great value and a great tip to you. The other thing is, imagine having a title company call your seller. If you know you're going on a listing appointment and you left that listing appointment and said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to have my title rep give you a call." Imagine if your title rep called the seller and said, "Hey, my name is with my title company, and I would love to help you get started on getting your title commitments ready to go. Would it be okay if we go ahead and open up title?" And by the way, we've worked with Rick for several years. People love working with him. You're going to enjoy this process with him as well. And just know I'm a resource for you. I think third-party validation calls are amazing ways to build your business. And this is something that I want to start implementing for 2024. The next thing we want to do is ask for now business. We want to find out what's it going to take for somebody to make a decision today. If there's some things that we need to overcome, let's create those hurdles. Let's figure out what that is for each individual person, and then find the solutions for them so that they can make that now decision. And I feel like by doing these types of things, we're going to establish the right follow-up plans. We are going to have better conversations with people, and we need to make sure that we're doing this consistently every single week. So every week, top 10 list, who are the 10 people that are really going to be our biggest targets of the week? Who can we get 5 people to add to our farm list? And last but least is our core advocates. Let's reach out to these people on a consistent basis and let them know that we love them. Let them know that we're grateful for them. Take the next several weeks between now and Christmas to make sure that they are aware that you love them and how much you appreciate the opportunity to be in business with them, and that you thank them greatly for all the referrals that they've given to you through the years. So anyway, some great tips for this week's flight plan. Go make it great. Put some people in your database. Create the systems to reach out to people. No matter what, go have fun, make it a great Thanksgiving, and put that phone away for a couple hours, if not for a full day during the course of Thanksgiving. So you guys have a good time, and we'll talk soon, and have a great flight.